The UFC 302 had a little bit of everything. It had a little bit of snoring and a little bit of sleeping going on in there. It had a little bit of the worst judging in the history of UFC. And it had a huge indication on the direction of the country in terms of how loud they screamed for President Trump.
Mercedes Lewis also in the building. Former President Donald Trump.
Sean Strickland and Paulo Costa was one of the fights that I was looking forward to most on this card. I wasn't too keen on it when it was initially announced. I thought it was a little bit disrespectful of the UFC to offer this fight to Sean Strickland with smaller money, if we are to believe what he put out on social media. And I thought that was disrespectful given the fact that I thought that he got the win over Dricus du Plessis. And now even he said it in the post-fight interview that,
but I got robbed there, dude. We all know I got robbed. At least Dricus doesn't back up. So I'm going to sit my ass in the gym and I'm going to be a team player and I'm going to wait.
That Israel Adesanya gets beaten and automatically gets a title shot coming off the back of getting whopped and all the controversy about fiddling with the dog.
Give me the fucking title shot. I beat Izzy and that motherfucker gets a title shot. You know, he's not jerking off his dog.
But I guess Israel Adesanya is the type of fruity guy that the UFC want to promote, and they want to bring in all them kind of nail varnish, blue-haired, stinking of sweat type people. So that is what it is. The fight itself wasn't the most exciting. There was a lot of Paulo Costa on the back foot running away. There was a lot of calculating positions and just kind of like being very tentative in terms of engaging. Not too much going forward. Last 15 seconds, there was a high kick that put Costa on his ass and a little bit of theatrics from Sean Strickland. And for me, the night was kind of saved by him doing what he does within the press conference and doing what he does when he gets on the mic. When he got on the mic, he did what I expected him to do and what everybody seemed to be doing across the board on the night.
President Trump, you're the man, bro. It is a damn travesty what they're doing to you. I'll be donating to you, my man. Let's get it done. Get it done. Congratulations, sir.
So there you have Sean Strickland calling out the Democrats essentially for their weaponization of the justice system against Donald Trump, calling it a travesty. And in a week where Trump has become a legitimate convicted felon, the chants are getting louder, the crowds are getting bigger, and more people are jumping the fence at a UFC event to go and shake hands with him, as we saw from Kevin Holland last night. Really strange win that he got in terms of the arm bar and the ref not really stepping in, or should he have stepped in? The arm snapped. It is what it is. He got a good win. I like Kevin Holland. What's the first thing that guy did? He ran, jumped the fence to shake hands with President Trump. The crowd was so loud, the pop was so huge when Trump actually walked into the arena that my wife came in from the other room thinking that someone had just gotten knocked out. And I was like, it's just Trump arriving.
Being ushered in by UFC CEO Dana White, Donald Trump is in the building, and the former president getting a standing ovation from the assembled masses.
It was insane, and every time the camera went on him, it got even louder and louder. The crowd were chanting F Joe Biden. The crowd were chanting Trump's name. There was like one person in the entire arena that was being virtuous and being progressive and putting their head down. Aaron Rodgers, good job, pal. You did extremely cool last night. That looked brilliant and cringe. As for everybody else, absolutely adored him. Even Khabib Nurmagomedov went over and had a conversation with Trump last night.
50 times. Thank you, man. You know, I don't know. I got a little girl I love, and I gotta see. I think this could be it. Well,
and there you have it. He asked Donald Trump for a little bit of help with what's happening out in the Middle East in terms of conflicts. And you can think whatever you want to think about Donald Trump and who his backers are and how much he kisses the wall and what size hats he wears and everything like that. But at the end of the day, under his reign, there is no new wars. With the help of God, he gets into office and starts saving some lives and puts an end to the conflict and puts an end to innocent women and children dying, because who wants to see that stuff? We'll just leave that one there. But seeing Khabib go there and shake hands with Donald Trump as well, it really does tell you. And there was a cope, of course there was. You had news stories and articles coming out like Donald Trump's body language at UFC 302 revealed inner turmoil. Experts claim. These are the same experts that spoke about the size of his hands and the way he held his glass of water, but never ever talk about Joe Biden falling downstairs repeatedly, falling over every time he goes up on stage, getting lost, being brought around by the arm like an old Alzheimer's patient. Most of these experts have the day off when there's an article to be written about a progressive political leader, but when it's Donald Trump, they're all out in force a couple of hours after his stressful and turmoil looking face at UFC 302. So there's a lot of people saying that UFC 302 was one of the biggest snore fests in recent history. To be honest with you, it was worth watching for what we got in terms of Sean Strickland, in terms of Donald Trump, in terms of Dustin putting on a banger of a fight with Islam Makhachev. In terms of the worst judges in history, one of these lads who was judging the Paulo Costa Sean Strickland fight actually had Costa 4-1 up on the judges' scorecards.
What the fuck is that?
So as we roll out of this pay-per-view event and on to the next one, what are the questions that are floating up in the air? Does Sean Strickland get another shot at the title? Does he deserve another shot at the title after that performance last night? Does Dustin Poirier retire, or does he give it one more shot and try to put together a run and maybe go for a title shot again? Personally, I don't see that happening. I think that he could come back and do some bigger fights like Conor McGregor or Alexander Volkanovski, somebody who actually called him out last night. So maybe that might happen. And as for Donald Trump, whose body language completely expressed the inner turmoil, the stress that he was going through, I think that's a cope. I think it's gaslighting. And I think it's easy to call that stuff out and shut it down. Let me know your thoughts down below. Maybe hit like, subscribe, and share if any of this made sense. Cheers.